I told myself I was not gonna buy any more books for the rest of 2023, but I just came back from the bookstore. Like, I literally had zero intentions of buying books, y'all. I really didn't. That's why I didn't take you with me. But we are gonna unbox the books that I got. I really needed a change of genres to meet my goals. I'm only 5 books away from meeting my 52 book goal. So let's do some unboxing. Hey y'all, if you're new here, my name is BME Queen and I talk about all things books. Today I'm gonna be unboxing some of the packages I've gotten from different publishers and book mail, as well as some of the books that I bought at Barnes & Noble. So let's just go through them. So if you don't already know, I get boxes sent to me through PR, and it's really for me to talk about the books and how I like them on my platform. And I don't accept all of the books, so I only accept the ones that I know I'm gonna actually be interested in. Like, I will buy it on my own, so that's what we're doing. So the first one is called What Happened to Nina by Dervla McTiernan. I think I butchered that. I'm so sorry. So this is a murder mystery about a girl named Nina who goes missing after her vacation with her partner Simon, and no one knows what happens, but her story goes viral. So there are different detectives that are investigating her story. So this one sounds really good. I'm pretty interested to see how this turns out. Sometimes they'll give me little slips about like the date of the release. I don't know if this has been released or not as of December 20th, but this one sounds like a really good read, so I'm actually pretty interested in this one. Next one, what's this next one? Sometimes the books do come like months or weeks after I've submitted for it, so I am just as surprised as you guys are when they come in. Okay, so this one is Mr. Hockey. I actually seen this one on social media already by Leah Riley. This one is a hockey love story, so let's read it. So Breezy has a huge crush on this hockey player, and he is a special guest for her summer reading event. So this talks about their love story after that event. She's a huge fan of him. He doesn't know that, so she's trying to like play it cool. So this is pretty interesting. When does this come out? See, like I got a little, I think it's already out because I don't see a release date. So, oh no, it's on sale January 2nd. So you guys should look out for this one. I'll let you know what I think about it in a future reading recap video, but this one seems pretty cute. So next is this one. It's pretty big. How do I open it? Okay, here we go. Gosh, this one is, they really put it in there. Oh, Your First Million. So this one I was actually really interested in. So this is written by a Black woman author, and she's an entrepreneur, and she teaches you how to make your first million. So she grew up in poverty, really focuses on entrepreneurship and how to grow your business and into $1 million or 7-figure business. So this one I am really excited to read. I actually totally forgot that I asked for this one. It is released, when is the release date? Okay, I don't know when the release date is, but this one looks pretty good. I definitely will be reading this very soon. I've been in a very nonfiction type of mood lately, so I actually did get a few other finance books, but I'm really interested for this one. Oh wait, I have one more package. Oh, this one, okay. So there is this Black autistic business owner on TikTok who sells different items to spread awareness about autism and also to just spread joy and happiness. So a lot of his items that he sells are stickers, and I personally don't use stickers, even though I have a ton of them, but I don't really use stickers. But he did have notepads. So I bought these notepads. They say, just be nice to people. What will your act of kindness do today? So this is super cute. I came across this TikTok shop and I had to buy these, so I will put his TikTok in the description so you guys can check out his shop. I think it's really cool, like the concept of what he's doing and like the purpose. So I will definitely be taking notes on these and like writing my to-do list on these. So this was like a little stationery thing that I added and ordered myself. Next is Barnes & Noble. So I just came in Barnes & Noble, and there have been a few books that have been on my TBR for a long time, and I never actually bought them, but they're books that I know I'm going to reread. One of them I just came across like on a whim, so I'm really excited about it. Let's go through now the Barnes & Noble books. Now, I didn't get a lot of books this time around because, again, I wasn't supposed to buy any books during the end of 2023, but I only have 5 more books left that I need to finish. If I'm reading like mysteries for a while or romance novels for a while, I just get really bored, so I need to switch up my genres and get something a little bit more interesting to me. So first one is Girls That Invest. So this is written by Simran Kaur. I think that's how I say her name. Crap, I can't remember. I listened to her podcast. So Girls That Invest is a podcast, and I believe both of the women podcast hosts are from New Zealand, and they talk about investment, but for women and also for the purpose of being a high earning woman, right? So they teach women how to invest from the jump. If you have zero investment or just finance experience, like they will teach you it. So based on the podcast, so the podcast talks a lot about investing, but it's for people who are already in a position where they have additional money to invest. So you already have a side hustle, you already have some type of income, a stable income where you have money to invest. So I wouldn't say it's a beginner type of podcast, but I am going to read the book to see like what I think about it overall, and then I'm talk about it in a future video. But I have been eyeing this book for a while. They've been talking about it on the podcast for a while. I used to listen to their podcast and a ton of different podcasts actually when I was working in a lab. Like that was how I kept my mind busy while I was doing like different, you know, small tasks in the lab. So Girls That Invest is a great podcast. If you haven't heard of it already, you should definitely check it out. I think it's kind of entertaining too because they have those accents. But I'm gonna read this book and let you guys know what I think. So in the same line of thought, so I have Your Journey to Financial Freedom. So this is written by Jamila Souffrant, and she is also a podcaster. I also listen to her podcast, obviously a Black woman, and she talks about the FIRE sector. So financially independent, retire early. So that is a new and growing community of people who want to be financially independent, right? They don't want to have to depend on a job. They don't want to work until they're 65. So they come up with ways to invest and save their investments and decrease their expenses so that they can reach their FIRE number, which is like their target goal number, to be able to retire early. So again, this is not a concept that is beginner friendly. This is something that you would do if you already have stable income and you're trying to reach retirement before the average age of 65. What I like about her podcast specifically, because there are a ton of different FIRE podcasts, her podcast though talks about the mental aspects of doing this because it's out of the ordinary. Most people work for 40 years before they retire or more, you know, if they ever do retire. Some people do FIRE, but they do speed FIRE is what she calls it, or fast FIRE, which is where they cut out every single additional expense. So they don't go out to eat, they don't go on vacation, they don't have any fun, and they do that for like 5 to 10 years so they can retire early and then spend, you know, their money when they retire, but they're living very, very frivolously and they don't have a lot of wiggle room in their budget. She talks about different versions of FIRE where you don't necessarily have to be extremely strict about spending money or saving money or investing money, but you have more of a fluid approach where you can kind of reward yourself with vacations once a year or something like that. So she takes a different approach in the FIRE movement in general. I really like her podcast. When I started listening to her podcast, it was a few years ago, and she was mainly interviewing people who had huge amounts of debt, both consumer debt and student loan debt, $450,000 type of thing, and they started doing FIRE and they paid it off, and then now they're retired. It's actually really insane, some of the stories that she has on her podcast, and then in some of her most recent podcast episodes, she talks to people who have achieved FIRE already. So what it's like being at early retirement at like age 37, for example. So she just has so many hints of knowledge and just such great things that I feel like not enough people know about, and I especially love her perspective because she's a Black woman and she can talk to different experiences within the Black community, especially if you're, you know, a high earner or the highest earner of your family or have different familial, different financial responsibilities. So she touches on all that in the podcast. I was really excited for her book. It just came out, so I think it came out 2 weeks ago, maybe. Super excited to read this though, so I'm looking forward to this a lot. Again, it's not a beginner type of podcast. I don't think it'll be a beginner book, but I will definitely, you guys know what I think about it after I read it. So this next one is the one that I stumbled upon, and it is, I saw this and I was like, okay, I feel like I have to get it, and it's called Signs. So it is The Secret Language of the Universe by Laura Lynn Jackson. I have never heard of this book, but I am very much more into spirituality and manifestation and the law of attraction and things like that, and I haven't read a spirituality book in a long time, so I feel like it's time for me to read another one again, especially because I've been doing a lot of manifesting and journaling prompts, prepare for the beginning of the new year. So I feel like this is a perfect fit for me to pick up and read. I started reading the first few pages of this book, and it actually takes more of a storyline approach, which I like a lot. A lot of spirituality books or philosopher books, or just nonfiction self-help books, they take the tone of being like a dialogue of like a script, and I don't really like this type of books. I like it when it's more anecdotal, when it's more storytelling, because I feel like I can connect with it more, and that's what this book is so far. So I'm pretty interested to read this. I'm probably gonna read it today, to be totally honest. this because I'm really interested to see what this is. So this is a really good one that I'm interested in. There's actually one more that I forgot to unbox on camera. So sorry. I've actually started flipping through this one already, and this one I got from TikTok Shop. So this one found me at the right time. It's called Fight Languages, Turning Conflict into Connection. So if you've ever heard of love languages, then this is the exact opposite, fight languages, of how you fight and how to navigate your fights, and not necessarily fist fights, but you know, verbal fights, like any type of conflict between you and another person, whether it be someone you work with, someone you're in a romantic relationship with, or any of your family members or friends. And I did actually read this already. This one is super thin. It's like 50 pages. No, I think it's 75, but it has journal prompts in it throughout. It also tells you different 5 fight languages, and it tells you signs of the person with that fight language, so different phrases that they'll say, their reactions, some of their thoughts, like what's going through their mind. And then it also tells you how to respond to that person, so things to do and things not to do. I will put the TikTok profile of the author of this book in the description as well, so you can check out her books. This one is really great. I bought this one because I know I'm going to refer back to this over and over and over again. I feel like fight languages are not spoken about at all, and they don't relate to your love language at all. So there isn't really a connection to it, but it definitely is something that's necessary because we all disagree with people all the time. No matter how much you love them, like, you're gonna disagree. So this tells you how to navigate those conversations, how to navigate those fights, how do you respond to that person, and then also how do you tackle your own mental, you know, thoughts and feelings, you know, when you're in the heat of the moment in a fight. So really, really good. Highly recommend this one. I already read it, like I said, so I definitely recommend that. These are all of the books that I have now. I really did not intend on buying any books, y'all, but let me know if there are any books that you were really interested in hearing about in the future, and I will put it at the top of my TBR. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.